Please welcome onto the stage our guest host, Igor Beuker.
Thank you very much, David. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the knowledge stage. Are you all excited to be gathering again? Yeah? Did you throw your Zoom screen out of the window for a while, for the coming decade? Yeah? No more pajamas, real life? I'm so happy that you're here. We're stoked and excited. There's a few things that I want to start with before we invite our guest onto the stage. There was a TV commercial. It was never aired, so nobody knows it. Steve Jobs, 1970, the year of my birth, very old. But he talked about misfits, the rebels, the change makers, and the people who are challenging the status quo. Well, if I invite my guest today, that is their core business. Challenging the status quo in event business, shaking up markets and industries. We're very happy to have them today, all the way from Montreal. Give them a warm welcome. I am first going to invite Annick Bellieu. Give them a warm welcome.
Hi.
C2 Montreal. And then we have Delphine Pou. Take a seat, please. Yeah, you can clap for her. Yeah. We're going to have an interview, as we call it, the Fireside chat. Enjoy it. We try to speed up so that we have time for questions. And otherwise, you're welcome to ask them after the session. Okay, you ready? Let's go.
Thank you, Igor.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Okay, we have a good start. You're here. You made it. Thank you for being here. You won a beautiful award last night. Do you want to tell a little bit about it?
Yes,
Because that was not in my script, sorry.
All good. Well, David, who just introduced us, was kind enough to give us the World Astounding Award last night. And we're really proud of it because, as you guys all know, we went through significant trauma over the last 3 years. And it just meant a lot because, you know, as probably everyone here, I guess it's been challenging to just stay in business, stay motivated, you know, keep innovating, keep the team, you know, on board. And so for us, you know, we were back with our flagship, and Delphine's going to talk about it a bit later. We were back with our flagship this year, and we feel that we're on the road to be as strong as we've ever been, and so that meant a lot. So thank you to IBTM for the recognition.
We're back. I have a burning question, of course. We have seen you being described as the most forward-thinking or leading company in the industry. Can you explain us a little bit why?
So the best would be to see a video. So we have this video, which is called The Best of C2. You can find it on YouTube, and we can watch it right now. If that works. If that works.
Yeah, of course.
I do think that the industry that is crying out for more entrepreneurs is the clean energy industry.
The solution is always there, and it should be simple.
If you invest in women, you will improve the world.
Your web history can and will be used against you.
It's never about me, it's about we. You want to have people around you that's better than you to make you better.
And if you select it carefully, you'll look around and there won't be one person on the team that you can't imagine doing it without.
We need more places that restore the body and the soul. Cooking is a call to act.
Build good content, put it in smart places. Sounds easy to do, really hard to do.
Business without boundaries, business out of the box, business but badass. Thank you, folks.
You all have a little bit of an impression? Very good. Now, of course, we're curious. Shaping an industry is all sounds nice, and but when did you start? How did you start, and how did it develop?
So, and the man you just saw at the end, Business But Badass, is our founder, Jean-François Bouchard, CEO of Sidley. and really good friends with the CEO of Cirque du Soleil. So Sidley was a collaboration that was born out of an ad agency and Cirque du Soleil that's known to pull on these amazing, immersive entertainment and shows. And so, you know, we were born in 2012, just after the crisis in 2008. And the idea was two ways. So one of it was like how, and I know there's a lot of destination folks here, a big challenge for Montreal, which isn't, you know, New York or London, was how do we actually create economic impact, and how do we export our savoir-faire, which we say in French. And the savoir-faire in Montreal is very much linked to entertainment, creativity. And so, you know, GF likes to say that C2 is as if Burning Man and Ted had a baby. So they saw they saw two opportunities. One of them was really to create a vehicle for exportation for Montreal, to showcase, you know, the creativity of the city on the world stage. Also inspire its ecosystem with world-leading, you know, speakers and innovators, and then also reinvent the conference format, which, you know, we felt at the time was a bit, I would say, stagnant. And really infuse it with creativity, with innovation, with collaboration, and go to the core of the human needs. So really start to, you know, approach it a little bit more with B2B, B2C principles rather than just B2B. So we're really much anchored in the fact that we're all here. Like I'm Anik, I'm a VP at C2, but before that, I am a human that loves arts, that loves to eat, that loves to have a good time with friends. And so we said, why don't we create a business event that focuses on the actual human need rather than the business persona?
Very interesting, yeah. And whoever said that B2B was supposed to be boring to boring? Nobody.
KPIs, we say keep people inspired.
Yeah, I think it's very, no, but it's a very important point. I hear a lot that, yeah, but this is B2B. Can you then point out to me how you B2B search in Google? Do you go to a different box or a machine? Huh? So no, okay, we're all people, I think. So yeah, very interesting to hear that, because there is a lot of stigma still around, I think. What I want to know, of course, what do you want, or how do you want the people to feel, the people that have visited your event? What is the golden prisma for you? What can we learn?
So I'll take my example. Actually, before working for C2, I was a participant myself. Like, it's been 12 years that I've been going every year, and even 1 year. So how it works is that usually it's businesses that invite their employees to go to C2. It's a sort of like professional training and knowledge and networking and creating like even like business connections with other people in the industry. And even 1 year I was like pregnant and I bought myself the ticket because it just like it was a need. So when you go to C2, it's there's two things. Like there's the spectrum is like you go for connections, you go with a group. But you also go for yourself. And we even call it like the professional me time. So it's really like, it's a sort of training and knowledge.
And we like to...
very interesting.
We like people to feel like we're inclusive. And we do that in multiple ways, right? So yes, for sure, having representativity in terms of the speakers, so a diverse, you know, speaker lineup. But more than that, we even like to design for introverts. A lot of events are based on the fact that, you know, you would be out there, you know, easy networking, approaching people. What we like to do is create a context where you don't need to be comfortable approaching people to actually meet people. And at the end, we are a business event. We want people to do business. We want commercial exchange. But our belief is that, you know, if we provide the context for people to connect more meaningfully and faster on the human level, it's going to lead to better business outcomes.
Very interesting. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to consume 1 million PowerPoint slides in a day.
No. Once we even had like a cookie workshop where we were like 10, and I was with a VP of like L'Oréal, and we baked cookies together. After that, you can basically talk about anything.
Yeah,
no?
I think so. Yeah, the human part is, of course, always very important. Now, you, of course, all have heard of Cannes Lion, of course. the film festival, which is very much connected to Cannes. I don't know if you could take it out, but it probably can. How is the interconnection between C2 and Montreal?
Well, Montreal is a very special place. Have you ever been to Montreal?
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Bilingual beggars, we say.
Exactly.
Any Montrealers here?
Or yeah. So Montreal is a very special place in North America. It's the only place where you speak 2 languages, and it's a multiple type of culture. Like just in Montreal, there's like 50% of the population that is issued of a 1 or a 2nd immigration. So it's a combination of so many cultures and creative approaches. And since we don't have this like traditional history, it's a very, very, very creative city where there's like very few boundaries. And it's also the hub of gaming, of AI, of the most creative companies in the world, I would say. And so you feel that at C2 Montreal. So I'm not saying that C2 Montreal is not scalable.
No.
C2 is scalable, but not C2 Montreal. It's really important to connect with the city, with the authenticity and what it brings out. So it's also a showcase of Montreal. So it's
now, I think it's one of the best immersive experience for any city, by the way, to get to know a city in beautiful ways, which is possible in 1, 2, 3, or 4 days, whatever. It's beautiful.
And if you look at a lot of successful events, the city they're anchored in has a big impact on the flair, you know, the vibe that you get there. You know, when you go to South by Southwest, you're in Texas, but you're not in Texas. You're in Austin. And it's that culture that they manage to, you know, to promote. And I feel that for us at C2 in Montreal, it's really about the Montreal business culture, and that's what we want to export, our way of doing things, you know.
And just to capitalize on that, if you've ever been to Montreal, you should know that it's one of the funnest cities in North America. Like, you actually have a lot of fun in this city. And so it's just the best place like to do business and to seal deals. Like, that's basically where a lot of deals are done. People, like a lot of Americans, they come to Montreal. They come for Formula 1, and they come for C2 for the business event. Basically, that's where deals are done.
No, I was thinking about, you all probably worried about it as well. In the last 2, 3 years, I know 100 cultures in the world where doing business is frankly impossible if you don't have 1, 2, 3 face-to-face meetings. I think you all recognize that in many cultures. So how do you do that through a screen? And this is, of course, the perfect opportunity. Can you mention 1 or 2 other key success factors to C2 Montreal?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I feel that one of it, so C2 stands for Commerce and Creativity. And the way we approach creativity is very diverse. So when you look at the DNA of our team, no one almost comes from you know, corporate events background. We have architects, we have set designers, we have scenographers from theater, we have a bunch of different profiles that when you mix together, you know, if the input is different, the output will be different. So I feel that that's a big part of it, like how we approach creativity. Then there's definitely the fact that the brand stands for innovation. So it gives us the latitude to take risks where, you know, we have a white label business as well, and clients, as you know, they don't really like to take risk under their own umbrella. But C2 allows us to push the boundaries, to test new, you know, event technology, and Delphine's going to talk about that a bit after. So really this notion of taking risk. And then I guess, you know, the ecosystem of partners that support the event, they were crucial in us going through the pandemic. I remember one of our partners, because, you know, I called her and I literally didn't really have much to sell at that point. And she said, you know what? Keep the investment. You guys figured out how to reinvent business events. You'll figure out, you know, what's next. And that was such a big, you know, I guess, pat in the back. We were like, okay, let's keep going. And this is very representative of our ecosystem of partners. Our government are very supportive on all different levels. So the city, the province, the country. We've had long-lasting partnership with amazing brands, which really allow us to keep on pushing the envelope. And that trust, I feel, has also been fundamental in evolving the product.
Of course, you sorry.
No, I would also add an important point is that since we push the boundaries, our clients, when they are with us and that they are during the event, they also push the boundaries. So they probably do stuff with us that they would not do in other type of trade shows or event. They feel that they have the freedom and the playground and to leverage that.
Confidence plays in culture and courage an important role. If I trust the people, whatever you do, you will probably do best as well. But of course, there's an important thing. I'm looking at the time. Where do you see the future going? And how many business cases have you made in your life? What is needed to create events like this? Can you...
I mean, where the future is going, I feel that one big opportunity is to, and especially after COVID, to move events up the CMO suite. We like to think of event as big content studios. So how can we create experiences that we can export? How do we create beautiful environments that people will feel the need to take a picture and to share on social? How do we create content that has different formats? So one thing we do is we have an aquarium. We place it at the center of the event, and it's a glass box, and we pay speakers a lot. And this is a way for them, once they've been on stage, to then create another piece of content that can be leveraged on different kind of formats on social and stuff. And so I feel that this is a big, this is a big portion of it. How do you bridge kind of this brand element, doing business as well, but with KPIs that are linked to marketing, and maybe Delphine has something about that.
No, and this is very important. What Annick just said is how you add a digital layer to the event with it not being a virtual event. Not that we don't believe in virtual events, but we are definitely pro in-person events. That's what we are looking for. So how we add digital stuff is all the, how we can leverage podcasting, how we can leverage video, how we can leverage streaming. And we are really adding now this layer of NFT, POAP, AR. We tested the NFT POAP this year. It was our first time. It was quite a success. In fact, we had more than 900 POAPs which were downloaded. And so also our role in Montreal is also to democratize and vulgarize all of this. So we had stations to help people open wallets for crypto. And so we also, if we offer POAPs, we offer the wallet opening.
So it's really closing the loop in.
Exactly. But we're really going to jump into the AR for next year. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
We're developing a whole layer of experience that's going to be in
No, if I see your artist from Snoop, well, I call Richard Branson an artist too sometimes, depending on which mode he is, kiting, flying, whatever. But NFT to do good events as you have, of course, a very important relationship.
Yeah,
of course. I now see that the event ticket becomes an NFT where it becomes more content and valuable so that you can go into the loop. I sometimes say most of the events are a little bit like my health insurance. I don't hear them for 11 months, and then they say, "Do you want to switch to my the new year?" I think, "Wow, where have you been all those months?" I see a lot of CMOs that say that live communications, 76% in Europe last year. Number one, most important connection, the value in. I think we're already halfway in the CMO budgets, which is good news, I think. But
yes, marketing budgets need to be increased for sure.
Very important. But I'm also happy for most of you. Content still king, distribution queen, maybe metrics the emperor, the data and the cases, and that you can show you the spread. If you have Richard Branson, of course,
But marketing today is data, is content. It's all of this. Like marketing has completely exploded these past years, and it's at the same level as the content itself. So.
So more and more investment into the content and maybe the spread and the share and the media exposure it gets.
So we can talk about this a little bit right now if you want. The
yeah,
marketing part quickly.
Yeah.
I believe that, well, we believe at C2 that the event itself, of course, is extremely important, what we create on location. But marketing now and the packaging the event is as important as the event itself. Like you can have 4,000 people here or 10,000 people here. If nobody talks about it, outside of traditional media, then you know, maybe we don't know if we can consider that a success. So anything that is done in marketing pre-event, during the event, and post-event is really becoming crucial, especially during the event. This year we invested a lot in what we would call business influencers, so people that have a large, like you,
business following.
Like you, Igor, who has a lot of people following on LinkedIn or on Twitter, and they are the ones who talk about the event, and they are the ones who create the FOMO, so fear of missing out. So it's all about what you do during the event.
And there's a lot of opportunities that lies between marketing and creative. So how do we have, you know, how do you create synergies between both? And a lot of, to justify a larger spend in environment design, let's say, when you have a strong marketing machine, it becomes logical because all of a sudden, you know, your live set becomes a way to export it beyond the event walls. And so there needs to be real synergies between, you know, how do you actually design and create the visuals and the experience as to how you want to then export it on different platforms.
Yeah, it's a very interesting conversation, of course, because we all sometimes need to tell or show the impact. So the measurement suite is becoming bigger and bigger. Very interesting, by the way.
And so before, I would say maybe 75% of the marketing budgets, our communication budgets, were pre-event.
Okay.
Now I would say 40% is pre-event and 60% is like post-event, is during event and post-event. Like the big marketing push is really after promoting the event.
Okay.
We think of it as like the peak engagement moment that you need to capture and seize while it's actually happening.
Very interesting. That also means that you maybe the post-event becomes a longer period. I see events where there is recurring moments, where there is connections, maybe invitation again.
Yep.
Very nice, and you of course, that's the nice thing. You know your customers better than they know themselves sometimes, maybe, which is very interesting, of course, for a marketing perspective. In social media, I sometimes think, it's fans on leash. You don't really own them, and if they have subscribed to your event, you can do the interaction without all the intermediaries, which is of course very interesting.
Yeah, we like traditional media.
Yeah, of course.
But we're going more and more with, you know, with all of you talking about the event. That's where the value is.
Yeah, very important.
Is on the participant, how they have felt, what they felt, how they're talking about it.
And towards the future, we're very much inspiring people for the future here. How do you see the events can play a role in business strategies, for example?
Well, you talked about creating relationships earlier. And, you know, we're maybe here working, 50% of the time remote, sometimes more. We do clients meeting on Zoom or in a boardroom for an hour, 2 hours, maybe a dinner if we're lucky. Teams are now spread all over the world. So there's really a challenge. And when I say team, it's teams of clients and teams of employees. So we feel that a lot of the opportunity, just like we were saying earlier, Igor, in terms of like creating the relationships, will lie in what we like to call smart hosting. So we're really focusing right now on business entertainment. How can we provide opportunities for brands to host their employees or their clients in a way that's modern? You know, there used to be one type of person doing business. Now there's many types of people doing business, many different cultures, many, you know, women are a big part of the business world now. And so how do you create environments or activities that will have people learn, connect, And how do you create special moments for this audience that's very precious, you know, when you're looking at your talent and or your clients. And so for us, thinking of smart ways to create this time outside of the boardroom is a big focus. A lot of the bespoke programs that we do with clients are really focused on that. How do we create environments? How do we create, you know, experiences where their stakeholders will actually want to spend 1 or 2 days of their time, which then enables companies to build those relationships a lot more meaningfully in a world where it becomes, you know, harder and harder to have this face time with people.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm still processing the question about business influencer. For some people, of course, we have influencers. Kim Kardashian could be one, or Malala could be one, or whoever you choose to be influential. In B2B, it's mostly, I say, there's sometimes say to me, people don't understand. Yeah, baby, you don't have many followers. I said, no, happily not. But in B2B is, of course, much different in the impact and the power and the spend. Marketing towards the future, making business events more successful. What can we learn? What should we do?
In terms of marketing?
Yeah.
Is just packaging everything we do in a digital way. I mean, social media, newsletter, anything you do has to be like data-driven. You know, it's not like there's a part of intuition, but there's a big part of like that is data-driven. You need to know, you need to have like your database. You need to know who's your participants, how you connect with them, what they do all year, understanding the behavior, and really like connecting with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's of course also, we're human beings and people, our expectations go up.
Yeah.
Amazon sometimes knows me better than I know myself. Yeah. Because they store...
They do.
They're very good. If I have searched for a new shaving machine, 6 months ago, I forget after 2 days. But they, of course, see that I've searched in Google. They're helping me and serving me. Sometimes I think, wow, you're so clever. How did you know? Yeah. They store the data, I forget. I'm human. I think we are almost done with the questions.
The one last thing I would say on that is I feel we also need to be bold. There are ways to create markets. There are ways to create new opportunities. And I think that this is something we can't shy away from. So leveraging that data to create a new set of opportunities, to go outside of, you know, the square that's been driven around us, and pushing the boundaries. I feel that this is something, especially when you're working in experience, that, you know, we should feel that is part of the responsibility of our work.
No, but it's very interesting what you mentioned a little bit. With the artist, I believe very much in cause artists, athletes, people giving back to society, humanity. Where can it better start than in a peer group or at the event? It's of course an amazing opportunity. Absolutely. I sometimes also worry from a branding perspective. Nowadays, I think modern consumers are dictators. They will swipe you out in a nanosecond if they don't like it. So for brands, it's also important to see what is out there and how can I surprise and exceed expectations instead of, because negative feedback also travels fast.
Yeah, because otherwise someone else will do it.
Are you okay? We have 2 more minutes left, and I really would like to have the opportunity to give 2 of you the chance to ask a question in the session, okay? Who of you would like to ask a question? Oh, I see there over, in the back, wow.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Beatrice. I'm from Brazil. And I would like to know how the festival approach the diverse of race. Because I see environment, I see gender, but I couldn't really feel a race, so I would like to hear from you. I believe I am a TEDx speaker. So I believe that diversity it's truly meaningful for creativity. Absolutely. So when you heard those people's, it's important to have more creative environment. So I would like to hear from you how the festival approach.
Do you want to talk about C2 Square and I talk about speaker representation?
You can go.
Okay. So we have very specific targets for all forms of diversity and representation, speaker representation. So this year, you know, we had, I feel it was, I think it was 53% women on stage. We had 40% visible minorities on stage. That's, you know, spread across race, but also LGBTQ plus S communities. And so this is very, like, we've done it since the beginning, even before it was the right thing to do. So we have very specific quotas that we need to hit. And it doesn't mean we compromise on quality, by the way. It just means that our responsibility as a curator is to go and get these talents, so 100% aligned. And this year, well, it was the second year that we've piloted a program that's called C2 Square. One of our issues is that the ticket price to get to the event was a bit too high to allow a diverse communities of entrepreneurs to infuse their knowledge, their way of seeing the world into the event. And we think that this is something that we need to do for our more, you know, executive crowd to really benefit from this kind of, you know, new vision. And so we have a program that focuses on that, and we had 180 of those young entrepreneurs with a focus on LGBTQ plus, visible minorities, and women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. I always have the dream, I'm old school, that we don't need these parameters anymore soon. Because inclusion, diversity are no-brainers in a mixed culture. But yeah, we still do. We do
because the profile of people that reach out to be a speaker, I'm not going to name it, but it's often the same. So if you do the extra mile to get, you know, a diverse like speaker lineup, you just won't get it.
I don't even speak in a white male 50+ lineup. I said, no, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. No. May we have a warm welcome applause for the two cracks of C2 Montreal. Thank you much for joining. Aniek, Delphine, thank you very much for sharing your biggest secrets. Enjoy your day, your stay, and the event, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.